All right, hey, I'm going live here from the jungle. I don't know why it's telling me to rotate the device. That's interesting. So, anyhow, wanted to try something different, kind of a la chip, going live from location. Thought I would give you guys a little slice of jungle life here. This is Florida, but kind of a little unexpected. I'm going to rotate the camera around. Wanted to talk a little bit about crypto while we're out here walking. And as I was out here, I was giving some thought to digital asset, to crypto, to healthcare, to the political nature of things that we find ourselves talking about quite a bit. So I just thought this was, you know, kind of an interesting, location to talk from, out here walking around, getting bit up by mosquitoes. Um, so, and anyhow, kind of what Chip doing a filming from location near the beach. Here's some view over here. So hey, what's up, Mr. B? How you doing? Out here walking and getting bit up by mosquitoes. So I figured I would come out here, and it's kind of funny. And I was thinking about our conversation. What's up, Jerry Hall? How you doing? Um, so Mr. B, was funny. We're talking the other day about filming in, vertical or horizontal, and the device actually doesn't let you in YouTube, at least my phone, doesn't let me film in horizontal. It only lets me film in a vertical format. So every time I rotate it into horizontal, it tells me to rotate the device back. When I started the video, I thought it could start filming in horizontal, and it specifically was telling me go back and film in portrait. So here I am filming in portrait, out here walking. It's kind of difficult. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna say, when you try to pull up the chat and try to get an idea of what's going on here. So anyhow, I was thinking about healthcare. I was thinking about the nature of digital asset, you know, uh, for healthcare, and one of the biggest concerns within the healthcare space is access to an individual's personal information, and access to a person's not just their info, but all of their medical data. And not having access to one's medical data is probably one of the biggest hurdles within the industry. So my dog's picking up all sorts of trails out here. So whether you're traveling, or whether you're local, and you have to go to one doctor or the next, your medical records essentially don't belong to you. Now, let me rotate this back around so you guys can see where I'm walking. So and not having access to your own personal medical records is definitely a major issue when it comes to really controlling and maintaining privacy of an individual. But at the same point, not having access to your own personal records means that we've given up control of our most valuable asset, which is our health, and given up that control to the physicians' offices, to the hospitals, to the imaging centers. And I know I've talked about this before, and it just kind of continuously circles back. But not having that access means that in case of you want your information, the amount of time and effort that one has to go through in order to get that information back is considerable. Now imagine you're in an emergency type situation, and in that emergency type situation, the doctors on scene need to treat you for whatever it might be. They have zero access to your health record. They don't know what you're coming to them with. What they know is that you're now in a critical scenario. They don't know what your potential allergies might be. They don't know anything about your medical history. And going on record, especially if you're traveling overseas, let's say you're just sick or whatever the case might be, gaining access to your medical records internationally is virtually, impossible. If you think about the hurdles that you go through, if you go to an imaging center or elsewhere, just to pick up, let's say you have a scan done of some sort, those records you may or may not be able to gain access to. Many times the facilities don't want to release that information to the individual that received the scan. So that's definitely an issue, and these are thoughts that have definitely been going through my head here as I'm out walking. Let me check out, see who's here. So where am I at over here? I'm walking within my neighborhood, actually. So now I'm actually out in a park that's not too far away, and actually it's walking distance, so I enjoy coming out here, walking down the trails, and it's definitely enjoyable. You never really anticipate when you're, obviously if you're in the Everglades section of Florida, you have some anticipation of getting this type of foliage wherever you go. I'm actually walking next to a horse trail. It's pretty quiet out here. It's pretty, overall relatively serene. This path ends actually at someone's property, so I got to turn around, head back, and the bugs are insane over here. That's because the sun apparently is starting to come up. So let me stop here. Green grass. Maybe this wasn't. Thought this was a great idea to come out here and talk. I'm getting mobbed by bugs. So try to expedite my way out of this area. See if I can get out of here. Trying to read and walk and run away from bugs at the same time. So let me come back to the chat once I get out of this area. So anyhow, so thinking about the nature of healthcare, we can use a very similar, argument